bright full moon on the background of the night sky with clouds and stars. Heavy breathing is heard, the name Lavis Vindica is pronounced. He shouts that's a bastard. He shouts that he won't get away with the massacre. Lavis Vindica says you were hoping I wouldn't find out about your dirty rod dealings. The man says that they thought he would turn a blind eye to this. Lavis Vindica says that this is not a massacre, but a punishment borne by Hilt. He says it's an execution. The guy screams, Lavis Vindica, how dare he do such a thing? The fool forgot his place. The man says that he ordered to find evidence of infidelity, and not to cut out the entire family. Also that he was Vindic's heir and dared to break the laws of their world. The demon king Gamudere Vindica says you went too far this time. The guy screams that there was evidence at every turn, and explains to the king that the Hilt bastards are hopeless. Lavis Vindica says they couldn't even do anything with the evidence because of the old men who were stuck to the Hilts. A man shouts out how many crimes they got away with. The king says that even execution should be strictly according to the law and explains that no one's worthless opinion is taken into account here. Lavis Vindica says the laws and execution only make him laugh. He says that the darkness is absorbed only by a thicker darkness and explains that this is the law of survival in their world. The demon king listens in silence. If he is unable to absorb even such blatant darkness, the Vindica cannot call themselves demon kings, and addresses him as father, or rather his majesty. Lavis Vindica shouts that the aristocrats are running everything here right now. The king says that he is infinitely stupid and narrow-minded. Lavis Vindica says that the Hilt family had to fall so that the Vindica family could survive, and that they, too, are willing to do anything for the throne. He explains that this is why his father sent him as an investigator. Instead of those who don't care about the order, sneakily hide behind Hilt's back. The king listens to Lavis in silence, and he says that it's useless to talk to the other person. The king notices that the 12 black thrones have already decided on his punishment, and Lavis Vindica is surprised, asking about the punishment. The demon explains that he broke the laws of the demon world and destroyed the Hilt family, after which he says that he will be banished to the human world. Lavis Vindica is surprised by the cruel punishment. He wonders if his father is serious. Father tells Lavis to redeem himself in the human world, where his power will be sealed, and to learn the true dignity of the Vindica bloodline. Lavis Vindica shouts that he may have killed Hilt's offspring, but he didn't destroy their souls. My father tells me to carry out the sentence, and several magicians around him are concentrating on preparing magic spells. Lavis shouts that he will not admit it and demands to stop, and also declares that he will not leave and is not guilty of anything. Father orders execution of the sentence. Lavis screams in pain as magicians with pink energy strike at him. The female mage wishes Lavis Vindic a pleasant time, calling him a violent prince, and Lavis shouts. The magician said that he will already look after everything here, and Lavis Vindica screams that he is a bastard. He screams, a powerful pink energy stream escapes from his mouth, and he is bound by chains that sparkle and burn with pink flames. Lavis Vindica sentenced to exile in the human world. The laws of the human world state that you must live your life in a body that has become a prison. It is forbidden to take your own life until its natural end, and it is forbidden to kill people. If you break them, your soul will be destroyed. Lavis shouts. He's awake and breathing heavily. Lavis Vindica is silent, and examines his hands. My hands clench into fists and shake. Lavis shouts in disbelief. Lavis Vindica says that he really got into the human world. The guy shouts that he will come back and rip out Wongbi's horns first, and he says that Wongbi set him up. Lavis Vindica shouts that he is in pain all over and wonders why people are in so much pain. Turns around. Lavis Vindica is surprised that he is stuck in such a frail body. He says that the Hylt bastards only bring harm to the end. Lavis Vindica says it's hard to even breathe here, and explains that there may be a sulfur spring nearby. The girl asks what the noise is, and he turns around with a displeased expression on his face. The guy is surprised when they call him little brother, and says that he heard. The girl screams that he's finally awake. The girl says that this is happiness, and explains that she already thought that the guy would not get up again. Lavis Vindica is surprised, asking if she might be related to his body. The girl is crying, leaning on Lavis. The woman calls Miho in surprise. Miho doesn't say anything. The girl cries and thanks Lavis Vindica for waking up, explaining how he suffered all this time. He is silent and wonders to himself what is happening and how he should react to it. Lavis Vindica says that the human world is one of the 3 great circles of hell, and wonders how anyone can live here. Someone is walking on the floor. The man says he's awake. The girl listens to him with tears in her eyes. The woman says Miho just woke up. The man is silent. Lavis Vindica is surprised. The man says to recover and go to school tomorrow, explaining that he will have to catch up a lot, since he was lying around for a whole week. The woman says that Miho is still too weak, and the man explains that enough is enough, he has woken up and this is already good. The girl asks her brother how he is. Lavis Vindica is silent. The woman is surprised. The guy says that he even likes this person. Lavis Vindica says that there are still people who look like demons, and the girl is surprised and asks again what he means. He unwittingly takes a liking to it and decides to proceed cautiously until this body's memory returns. The girl is surprised. The man says that they have arrived, and the other is surprised that this is a school. The woman says that if you feel bad in class, you need to call, and Lavis says that he understood. Lavis Vindica is silent. He says that, in the demon world, he went to school 600 years ago. Lavis Vindica says it's hell to go to a human school at his age. He says the human world is hell. Plate with class number 2 to 3. Lavis Vindica says okay and explains that people still live at most 100 years. He explains that I will sit quietly so that my soul will not be destroyed. A group of demons tells us that they have dealt with Hilt and bought some time, so you can return to the demon world and take your father's throne. Lavis Vindica thinks that the Vindica family should not be under attack again. The guy with the phone says that he hasn't seen Miho for a long time, and Miho is surprised. Lavis Vindica is surprised, asking what is this? The blonde-haired guy tells Miho that he should have worked out the time he skipped and grabs him by the neck, while Miho screams in pain. Lavis Vindica is surprised that her body shrinks from fear. The guy says he didn't expect it to fall so fast. The guy on the ground is holding his head. His classmate in a white shirt says that he already said that you should not get involved with them. The guy says that he is not afraid, and the other guy says that they have already won. He shouts and raises his hand above his head. Lavis Vindica is crying and holding his head, blood flowing from his mouth. He is surprised and can't believe his eyes. Lavis Vindica says that's why my whole body ached. It turns out that everything happens because of these freaks. The guy with the black hair says that they are friends, and asks why he is so shrunken. Another guy explains that he has become even more pathetic. The guy says that they haven't seen each other for a long time and it would be necessary to say hello properly, and then in a friendly way orders to bring money. The guy wonders if he's being beaten. This is a person and asks you to study them carefully. The guy with the horns shouts that without horns they look shabby and they probably stink. He stands at the lectern and looks at them. The woman says that people are extremely lowly creatures and they will do anything to hide their weakness. Humans are so stupid that they worship both angels and demons at the same time. Lavis says that such idiots should just be burned. It's definitely him. If you suddenly stumble upon a person, then you need to crush this insignificant dirt. The voice says that the pathetic little man doesn't dare to do that. Lavis Vindica says you can't touch him. The guy is sitting on the phone. Lavis took him by the neck. He is surprised that people are so stupid and hits the offender's head on the desk. The second guy shouts that he should be released and calls Lavis a freak. The guy shouts that he is completely crazy and calls the interlocutor scum. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says that the magic has reacted. He shouts that he went completely cuckoo while he was passed out. Did you want to die? The guy screams and punches. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says that human abuse fuels magic. Lavis is surprised that magic and swearing are connected together. Lavis throws a heavy punch at the man, who falls backwards from the impact. He screams, and the man falls to the floor with his legs spread wide. The guy shouts that he can't believe what is happening, and the guy with glasses and the girl are surprised with him. The voice explains that in the human world, the power must be sealed. Lavis Vindica explains that he is in a human body, but the magic still responds to swearing. The guy is surprised that it's Miho and asks if it's really their Miho. The girl next to me calls out to Miho. The man says Lavis is finished for hitting him. The guy lifts a chair over his head and shouts, and Lavis Vindica with a red eye calmly clenches his fist. The guy shouts that Miho is behind him and warns him to watch out. Miho turns around. He screams and delivers a powerful kick to the man, who tries to defend himself with fright. The guy screams out of breath and wonders what is possible. The guy on his knees is yelling that this is a fucking squish. Lavis Vindica is standing in front of him. He says that people swear to hide their weakness, and explains that dirty language does not make a person stronger. Then he kicks down hard. Lavis Vindica punches a man hard in the face. The guy screams and twitches, blood coming out of his mouth. The guy says that Miho beat Tae and Sung Yoon. The other guy asks what happened in the first place. The girl explains that it's not a big deal. Lavis Vindica says so, father. The guy is surprised that he just needs to live quietly until he dies. Classmates are surprised, and the guy in glasses and the girl behind him look with concern. Lavis Vindica says who else wants to scold him. He repeats who else wants to scold him. My classmates ask if this is true Miho. He's surprised that Miho was so strong. The guy sitting at the lockers says he's not going to fight. Lavis Vindica, Miho, explains that he is not going to fight because he has already won. The guy with the glasses asks him if he's all right. Lavis Vindica thought the guy with the glasses was for him. He thinks he's perfect for him as a servant and says he's fine. The guy with glasses is surprised, asking Miho if he was reborn from another world. Haha, got burned. The guy wonders if he was a Murim master in a previous life, or if he's from some game. Lavis Vindica says that if this servant has already figured out who he really is. The man tells Lavis that it is forbidden to kill mortals in the human world. Otherwise his soul will be destroyed. Lavis asks why, and tells her that Cynthia's teacher told her to crush the pathetic people like bugs. The man explains that she just said that and says that they shouldn't take human death so lightly. After all, we are the gods who control death. Lavis Vindica says that people themselves try to kill each other. He says they are fools and explains that this is why they exist. Lavis Vindica now understands the point. He tells you to remember that if you kill a person, your soul is finished. The man replies that what does it matter because he is the prince of demons and he has nothing to do in the human world. Lavis Vindica says that if you can't kill, how can you keep him silent? And at the same time expresses bewilderment. The guy says that if rebirth really existed, there would be. The guy says that he would like to wake up in another world. Miho notices that the guy reeks of unbearable pain. The guy with the backpack says that rebirth and all that is complete nonsense. The guy with the glasses says he knows exactly how much Miho put up with before he snapped. Miho realized that the guy hadn't guessed. The guy says that Miho was just unrealistically cool. The guy shouts and is surprised that he received praise from some pathetic person. The tall building where the Miho family lives. Lavis Vindica says that when those people were fighting, he definitely felt a surge of magic, although a demon trapped in a human body should not cast magic. How is this possible? Lavis Vindica says he can't afford to relax because he has to be prepared for any eventuality. But still, Lavis Vindica says nothing is impossible for him. Experiencing sharp pain, Lavis Vindica screams and hugs his shoulder. The cry of pain could be heard even by the neighbors. The guy says that his body is too weak and cannot withstand his magic, and also that he aches all over. Lavis Vindica says he's only been in a human skin for a day, and he's already suffering so much. He says that because of this pain, he can't sleep a wink. Miho fell asleep. Morning came. Miho came to school. The boy wonders how long it's been since he had a normal school life, and the classmate says that thanks to Miho, no one is bothering them. He says that it would be better to fight and wants to test his strength again. The classmate is surprised. Someone shouts at young Miho. Lavis Vindica is surprised. The guy asks if he beat up his brother. Defended it for a penny's worth of contributions. You brute, is that how you repay my kindness? Classmate is waiting for Miho's response. Lavis shouts, more swearing. Shouts, yes, it's me. Follow me, you bastard. Lavis Vindica tells Tu that he already told him. He says, don't let anyone beat you up. Young Miho, what are we going to do? If I just let you go, I'll be a bad brother who couldn't protect Junior. Did your mother teach him that? You can't beat up good friends. Yes, that's right. What an asshole. What are you afraid of, Miho? Dodges a punch with his hand. Choice swearing with the mention of the mother is always a delight for the ears. Lavis squeezed his hand. What the fuck? About the all-powerful mother who put poison in people's tongues. Lavis hits me in the jaw. Violence only binds the flesh. Falls to the ground. That venomous words eat away at the soul. They said, pitiful people so desperately looking for him. The guy shouts, motherfucker. Miho, don't just stand there attacking. Decided to attack in a crowd? Even better. That the more evil, the more power will accumulate. Delivers a powerful kick. Lavis Vindica prepare again. Spewing blood. The guy screams. The impact sounds are heard against the background of the building. Miho laughs. The guy coughs and screams hoarsely. Miho says he feels better. Lavis Vindica explains that uncle gave people violence, while mother invented swearing. Violence is cool. Now I understand perfectly well why my uncle allowed people to commit violence. Thank you, uncle. Miho? The rat is watching Miho. Screeching from a rat. The assignment was executed flawlessly. My dear nephew. Uncle presses on the blue creature's head. My uncle's gift seemed to please me. The woman says she put a demon bloodstone in her eye instead of a prohibition stone. I wonder how long you'll last, Lavis. Ha ha ha. Lavis the bastard cut out the Hilt family by the roots to think of it. Lavis won't rest until he gets his way. No one can break this guy's stubbornness, although he can certainly throw him out into the human world. He's a heartless guy. The only thing that works with such scumbags is submission by force, which is the motto of the great demon king Gemudare. Only those whose sins are too great even for the demon world are exiled to the human world, and he says that Lavis will have a hard time there. And when this little girl managed to grow up and do things, Lavis Vindica shouts to her uncle, let go. Uncle says that the bloodstone was not given for nothing. Everything is ready to watch the sinner in the human world. Uncle says to show them to him, Wanbi. He can't afford to waste a second. Once Lavis came down to earth, a demon that devours souls that its body is just a shell. He would have to face them one way or another. Uncle picks up the stone and directs black energy from it into the bowl, from which it begins to rise and spread like a whirlwind. He shouts. My uncle says he's looking forward to seeing my nephew in true darkness. Miho, how did this even happen? Even Brother Taewoo couldn't defeat you. It was cool like in a movie. Lavis Vindica says the taste of hellfire is nothing. The man asks Miho why he's crying then. Miho explains that it's just sweat coming out of his eyes. I told you that you should take assorted dishes for beginners. Mingo says a demon running from hellfire isn't a demon. Someone's calling. Incoming call from Jean Jae-hee. What's up? Won't you pick up the phone? Miho, I have an urgent matter to attend to. I ran bon appetit. Leaves in a hurry. Miho eats in silence. Evening came. Tattoo parlor. Tattoo machine in the bandit's hand. Don't move or you'll get hurt. You need to pay back the money on time, and the other guy explains that he was only given an extra job. Everything is ready. A man with the word thief written on his forehead shouts. Well laid down, great skin. The guy with the backpack speaks to Jae-hee. Jae-hee says what the heck and why is it taking so long? The girl asks Cheyenne to come and look at it. The man presses his hand to the other man's cheek and says take off your shoes and look carefully. Jae-hee asks if he knows what this means. Lavis Vindica says that the brand is for a thief and explains that this brother did not repay the debt, so he got what he deserved. She asks him Cheyenne how their agreement is going and if everything is going according to plan. Well, this is. There are always bugs coming out. Jae-hee shouts, it's not a joke. It's so hard for a man to understand. I can put a reminder right on my hand to make it clear. No, don't. Hey, Cheyenne, listen up. The girl says this is a man's last chance. Jae-hee asks if he wants to be in the other man's place, lying on the floor with his eyes closed. She says to do as she said and prepare everything properly. Evening came. Zion started working. Should I even finish this? Can't go on like this anymore. If he doesn't, then Jae-hee will deal with him right away. It was already night. Lavis Vindika shouts that he has a stomach ache. His stomach burns and his body aches like it's been run over, and after a little fight, his shoulders are already falling off. Fucking weakling's body. Lavis Vindika shouts that he won't give up over such nonsense. He says that by all means he will fix this piece of garbage, which is called the body. No amount of pain will break his spirit, and he screams. Nakalik lessons. Zion came to school. Holds a flash drive. This app is on a flash drive. It's too dangerous. Gina Jae-hee says prepare everything properly. Cheyenne is thinking about the right thing to do. What should I do? Miho quickly took Cheyenne by the shoulder. Lavis Vindika asks what's going on and why the other one is twitching so much. But the guy doesn't say anything. Cheyenne thinks about asking Miho. Then he thinks it's a bad idea. As cool as Miho is, getting involved with Jae-hee is too dangerous for him. Cheyenne thinks he can't let Miho get hurt because of him too. Miho is surprised and says that this smell. A girl with red hair falls down. Sunji? What's wrong with you? How are you? Where does it hurt? Ka-yu-yu-yu. Demonic aura. Lavis Vindika wonders where the human got it from. A guy with dark hair asks what happened to her. The girl is lying on the floor. The man orders to quickly take the victim to the infirmary. He's surprised. What is this sign? Lavis Vindika says it's a hilt coat of arms, and wonders where it came from on a human body. We need to check everything out. It was already evening. The girl is sitting on a bench and looking at her phone. Hey, slow down. Are you a friend of Sunji's? You can't go to her now. Lavis speaks in a whisper. I grant you oblivion. The bewitched girl. She sat down on a chair. Lavis watches for the spell to work. Even with that little bit of magic, you can pull this off. He goes to the ward and explains that he has come. The girl is surprised and looks at him with displeasure. The girl is surprised, asking who he is. The man is silent. And who are you? Why are you barging in without asking? Miho abruptly grabs his arm. And the girl wonders why the hell he does that. He says that an insignificant person dared to wear a coat of arms. The girl shouts that this is nonsense. Lavis Vindika says that if you don't want more serious problems, then tell me everything. He says he wants to find out who she really is. The girl screams that she is suffocating. Surprised to say this. A girl sees a demon. Surprised to see a demon in front of her. A dark, sinister figure with horns, surrounded by bright pink flashes and sparks. The girl is scared to death. The girl starts to speak, but is interrupted. Lavis Vindika demands to speak normally. The girl says that she really doesn't know and calls Jae-hee. The girl says that if she wants to get into a gang, then you need to fill this tattoo, and promised that she would throw pills for weight loss. Lavis Vindika notices a faint smell coming from the girl. He says he's definitely met him in the demon world before. Lavis, where are you going? You can't come here because it's a restricted area. Lavis Vindika says that he doesn't know how to smile, and explains that this doesn't mean that he is angry. He says Wanbi is a coward. The guy screams and shakes. He's not afraid, he just doesn't want to get punished, and Lavis Vindika explains that then let him leave. He says he doesn't want to either. The guy explains that no one knows what he will do again if you leave him alone. The guy is surprised that they still have a long way to go. They walk down a long corridor. Guy says Lavis asks if he knows. Lavis Vindika says he doesn't know and will know if they tell him. The guy says that since they are in such darkness, he remembered one story about those whose eyes exceed any racial restrictions. Lavis Vindika says they can lose their sight in two ways. Your eyes will either be blinded by too much light, or they will atrophy in total darkness because there is nothing to look at, like here, for example. Lavis Vindika says there's something out there. The man shouts. A hand pressed against the wall. from the fingers of which a flower with large petals grows. What the hell is this? And Lavis Vindica just looks ahead. He says it's worth taking a closer look, and the guy warns that it's dangerous. Large flower with purple and pink petals. Lavis Vindica says it's Jeremy Hilt. The guy says that judging by the state of this jerk, he's already dead. Jeremy's corpse is covered in flowers. What kind of flowers are these? And the girl warns not to touch them. The girl pulls out a flower with a root, from which blood splashes. Lavis Vindica says the flower stinks. The guy is surprised that this can't happen. Lavis Vindica is surprised by the name of a predatory flower. He says he smells just like a carnivorous flower. The girl asks to save her. The man is silent. The girl sits on the bed, covered with a blanket, and shivers. A man looks out the window at a red-eyed bat hanging from a branch. Lavis, we're almost there. Can't wait. The night sky is full of stars. Lavis searches by smell. Here comes Jean Jaehee's tattoo parlor. Lavis Vindica says that the tattoo is Hilt and a predatory flower, and wonders if this is a coincidence. The man says that his name is Zion and asks why he needed to get the schoolboy, and the other explains that it is not the guy himself who is needed, but his girlfriend. The guy says that they now also work in high-tech. Blue Bao is the new Yanmu. Lavis Vindica says that if something goes wrong, he will immediately step in. The guy explains that this is Novi, and there are fierce side effects. He doesn't care and that it's high and okay. Lavis Vindica notices the same smell again and the Hilt sign. The boys notice Lavis. Lavis Vindica asks if Jean Jaehee got the same tattoo. The guy asks if the other person is a friend of Jaehee's. He says you should be more polite to your elders. Lavis Vindica screams. Two men snap their fingers at the same time. Lavis Vindica punches the other guy in the face, and the man watches and is surprised. This place is not for weaklings. The guy shouts that he's a freak and asks who sent him. The guy says he's not going to give up. Lavis Vindica delivers a powerful punch to the man's face. The man shouts that he's going crazy and calls the other an asshole. The guy in black screams that he's finished. The man abruptly punches the other person with his fist. A man gets punched hard in the face. The guy in the hood screams. A man in a gray suit falls backwards with a wound on his face, while another man lies on the floor unconscious. A guy with a knife in his hand is preparing to strike. The man shouts, "Get!" Attacking with a knife, Lavis Vindica dodges, moving quickly with a bright glowing gaze. A guy screams when he gets a hard punch in the face from another guy. Lavis Vindica explains that he does not intend to kill, but only wants to frighten. He says that he does not like to kill because it is too simple and boring. He asks where Jean Jaehee is. The man shouts that he is an infection and will kill. "I'll kill you." Lavis Vindica is surprised that the dark energy has become stronger. The man screams and rushes forward with his arms outstretched. Lavis Vindica says that he started moving differently and asks if the drug has made him stronger. Steps on another person's foot. Lavis Vindica screams as he falls to the ground after being kicked. The guy screams and quickly rushes at the hooded man. The angry guy slaps Lavis sharply in the face. Lavis didn't have time to react. Night sky with clouds and stars. The man in green explains that the app isn't ready yet, and the man lying on the couch apologizes. It seems that the other person has already said the same thing. The man explains that he clearly explained everything last time, so just a little more. Song says he caught a rat that stole a blue bao. The man on his knees is silent. The guy shouts that he is guilty and asks for mercy. The guy asks for just one chance and says he won't screw up again. The man explains this. The guy with purple hair is silent, looking at the blue roses in the vase. The man with red hair and a tattoo on his neck is standing next to him, and Lavis Vindica explains something while watching the flowers. The man squeezes the blue roses and pulls them out of the vase, then lowers the stems, from which the earth falls. The guy screams. The guy begs for mercy and begs to be spared. The guy shouts that no. The guy raises his hand with a blue flower and shouts. Lavis Vindica screams. A sharp blow sounds. The guy with the pink hair shouts that he won't take it anymore and grabs the man by the hair, who is on his knees with his hands tied. The guy screams, choking. The others are silent. The guy begs to be spared. The guy raises his hand with a blue flower surrounded by purple energy. The scream is heard against the background of a silhouette of a man and blood spatter. A scream is heard. The guy screams. The guy in the green suit says there won't be a second chance. The guy with the dark hair says he hopes everyone here understands that. Lavis Vindica is silent. He says, "Isn't that right, Jackie?" Lavis Vindica says that he can't afford to die here because he has a goal to fulfill. He explains that if he dies, all his efforts and sacrifices will be in vain. The guy says that you need to be without further ado and faster. She says she understands. The guy shouts that he's in trouble because of the jerk. Zion need to pick up the phone. Your phone rings. A guy is typing on a keyboard at a desk. Sees the call. The guy picks up the phone and says he's in touch. Zion. The guy says that he wanted to figure it out for himself, and he explains that these guys are completely out of hand. The guy is surprised, asking what the other person is talking about. Lavis Vindica says he knows Jean Jae-hye after all. He says Jean Jae-hye called him then. The guy is surprised that it's Jean Jae-hye and asks where he's from. The man explains that her name just appeared on the screen and asks if he knows where she lives. The guy says he wants to find out how Jean Jae-hye knows and asks him not to say that they are his. He explains that this is not the case. The guy says that he came to her because he needs to check something out and tells her that he is in Jean Jae-hye's tattoo parlor. But she herself is not there, and another voice asks where he is now. Lavis Vindica is surprised. He's on the phone, and the cat with the crown is surprised. The guy tells Miho not to contact her in any way and explains that he is coming right now. Lavis Vindica says he's listening. He says that he can't talk right now and explains that he will call back later. The guy stands against the wall and looks at a white cat playing with a bell. The cat is shaking and dripping with sweat. The guy says that he is addressing a ball of wool and says that he is talking to him. Lavis Vindica holds the cat by the scruff of the neck. He says he understands it. The cat responds with a meow. Lavis Vindica says answer normally, then shouts. The man hiccups. The cat screams, which is exactly so. The man says that at that time he was a rat, yesterday a bat, and today he is a cat. Lavis Vindica asks who he is, and the cat replies that he is. The cat says that he is an observer from the demon world in the human world and his task is to keep an eye on the prisoners unnoticed. The animal says that this is why it was watching Lavis Vindica, and Lavis Vindica explains that the demonic energy is too weak and asks if it is definitely a demon. The cat explains that Lavis noticed it. Lavis Vindica says that he is now standing on his hind legs, and the cat is surprised. He says there's no point in asking any further. Lavis Vindica tells the creature's owner to show up. The cat screams. Lavis Vindica says things are happening faster than he thought. He says he figured it out quickly. He calls Vanby a brute and explains that this is his doing again. The character says that he doesn't understand why he should treat his friend so rudely and immediately call him names. Lavis Vindica asks what he's up to this time. The guy says that he didn't think about it and asks what it's about. Lavis Vindica says he will score and ask only one thing. He says that everything is not as he remembers and asks if the prisoner can use magic in the human world. The cat says that magic happens, and explains that there are exceptions everywhere. The man says that the interlocutor will soon find out everything and he will not have to explain, and asks if there is anything else he wants to ask. Lavis Vindica explains that it is a predatory flower, and its smell is too strong in this world. He says that Wanbi smelled it then. Lavis Vindica says that this flower is forbidden even in the demon world, but he feels it here, explains that the officials of the demon world know that the creatures of the Hilt family have penetrated the human world, and says that they were too tenacious to be considered completely exterminated. He says that he is not going to give up and will fight to the end. A guy with green hair and orange glasses says to Lavis, "The human world is not what it used to be, and now it is a hotbed of conspiracies." The guy says that it's just in time, and explains that since he's on his way, he has to deal with everything there. The cat asks him if he's going to take care of everything, and Lavis Vindica wonders what he's even talking about. The cat calls Wanbi and asks what else is there. The cat says meow and repeats it with a questioning intonation. Lavis Vindica is silent. The guy screams, "What the hell?" Night, starry sky over city buildings. The guy says that every second counts, and explains that he can't answer. Lavis Vindica says that jerk is completely out of his mind, and asks if he's picking up the phone. The girl says it's infuriating. The voice tells Zion that he is finished. The phone screen shows an incoming call from Jean Jae-hee. The man asks Jean Jae-hee what happened, and Jean Jae-hee tells Sungjin to go to the office quickly. Lavis Vindica says they're going to catch that bastard Im Shaun. Sky at night, strewn with stars and clouds. Lavis Vindica says that if he is an observer, he should know the human world well. He says that he needs to constantly search for prisoners one by one, and confirms that this is so. The cat says to take its true form. The man answers yes. Lavis Vindica is surprised, asking if he should do it himself, and the cat shouts that it is not necessary. The cat screams. It radiates energy. The girl smiles with her eyes closed and jumps slightly. The girl says that she came here to meet Lavis Vindica. Lavis Vindica explains that she didn't expect to see her here. The girl tells that she has an important task, and asks Lavis to help her. He says it looks too weak. Lavis Vindica says that if he sent it, then there must be a reason, and the girl asks what his name is. The girl explains that she doesn't have a name. Lavis Vindica says Street is his name. The girl is surprised that she heard her name, Street. The girl says that she understood Mr. Lavis and thanks him for giving her a name. Lavis Vindica tells him to tell him everything that is known about the human world, and the other one says that he understood. Against the background of the night sky, several high-rise buildings are depicted, among which you can see the signs of cafes and other establishments, and the sound of footsteps can be heard. The guy screams. The guy shouts that Miho is in danger and says that he should have stood his ground until the end. The guy runs, holding a bouquet and a box in his hands. The man says he can't believe he won. The guy explains that the name is Zion. The man with glasses says that he is the developer who won the contest. The guy says he's heard they give you 501 to win. Lavis Vindica says it's a jackpot, and the man with glasses explains to load it. The scream is interrupted, and the bouquet of flowers falls apart. Lavis Vindica says that he is not going to give up, even if he has to die. The man explains that he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt because of him. Lavis Vindica says that he is ready to accept any pain for the sake of protecting others. The guy with the pink hair says it's just a deal and asks why the other one is shaking so much, and the other one explains to look at the seat next to him. The guy says that he has 50 million won in cash and asks them to sell his app to them. The guy explains that this is not for sale and he did not make it for that. The guy is silent. Lavis Vindica says that's what the other person thinks. The guy with glasses sweats and looks down. The guy screams and breathes heavily, clenching his fist. The guy says we have to hurry and he shouldn't let him and Jean Jae-hee meet. The guy shouts that he can't believe what's happening. The guy says he's sorry. The guy with the glasses looks surprised. A man with a ponytail and glasses says he didn't have to look because he came by himself. The guy looks surprised and says something, while he clasps his hands in front of him. The guy with glasses says his name is Zion. Lavis Vindica says it's over, you bastard, and the guy with the glasses says it's bad. There is a scream and the sound of gunfire. The man says that the guy's job is to sit here and monitor the app, and warns that if he doesn't want to rot away locked up, he must do everything right. The guy shouts to wait. Lavis Vindica says that they are watching the other person's every move from the outside and explains that they should not even think about pulling any tricks. The guy on the floor wonders why not. The man is standing nearby. The guy shouts that it's over. The guy with the ponytail asks if he really is a developer, and the guy with glasses explains that you can't do without his Blue Bow program. Lavis Vindica says he's not going to give up. The man explains that they should proceed cautiously. The woman explains that they have a plan and they must follow it. The man says that how will they sell the product through him. The guy says that the name is kind of shabby. The guy asks if everything is ready. A man and a girl look out the window. The guy explains that the Zion program is the heart of their Blue Bow business. The guy explains that you need to get customer data first. Lavis Vindica says that then they can do whatever they want with the market. The guy says that the feature from I'm Here namely the geolocation exchange, will become the main tool for expanding sales. Lavis Vindica says they will finally start selling the blue bow on a big scale. The man says he can't believe it. Lavis Vindica says that this is exactly the blue bow. The guy says they'll show it to the whole world. The guy tells Choi Yuri to register here and send him a friend request. The guy asks what it is. He explains that if you accept the application as a friend, they will give you cashback money, and says that they give you 30. The girl sitting on the table says that even if there are only 3 people, it's 100,000 won, and the other girl next to her confirms that she thinks so too. The guy sitting at the desk calls Park Hyaman to come over to them. The girl demands to quickly add her as a friend, and the other girl is surprised and asks what it is. A girl with blonde hair says that they give a gift for registration. A girl with black hair shows information about a blue bow on her phone. We offer a special offer for new users called I'm Here. The guy says that the weight loss product is called Blue Bow and that the dietary supplement is certified by the FDA, and is also surprised that this is a beautiful name. Says the man, what is there and how many registrations in just a day? The guy with glasses says their Yanmu knows his stuff, and Lavis Vindica admires the theme. The guy in the white shirt explains that he checked the security cameras, but couldn't catch the person who trashed the studio. He asks if he's caught the bastard yet. A man in a black hoodie stands with a phone in his hands. Lavis Vindica says bat and then wonders what he said. Says the man to take a look. The guy is surprised that the creature is looking directly at the camera. Lavis Vindica asks what's on the other cameras, and the man explains that it's the same there. The guy shouts that it's a beast. Lavis Vindica shouts that this is not possible at all, and the man with glasses stands silently behind her. A guy with dark hair looks at the screen with tension. The guy screams and looks at the phone. The man tells Jackie, and Jackie shouts that he wants to know what he wants. Lavis Vindica says that the Blue Bow party has arrived, and orders them to go. The image shows an urban landscape at sunset with multi-story buildings and mountains in the background. Lavis Vindica is silent. The animal is surprised and asks why the street is stuck there. Lavis says he just got a little fat, and the man asks what about the case he gave Lavis yesterday. The girl says that it was not easy, but she found out everything, and the man asks if this is true. The guy with blood coming out of his mouth says that he can't die because he has a duty and asks not to kill him. Lavis Vindica picks up the candy from the floor and sniffs it, explaining that it smells like a predatory flower, just as he thought. The guy says he woke up after eating this stuff. The voice explains that it is simply impossible to grow a predatory flower without a carrier. Lavis Vindica says that this flower has been exterminated even in the demon world and explains that he does not understand where it came from among humans. The girl says that the candy they asked about is called a blue bow, and explains that this stuff is fed to people under the guise of weight loss pills and all sorts of supplements. Lavis Vindica asks about the lineup. The girl says that the blue bow is made so much that it is damn difficult to find out what and where it is made from. Lavis Vindica says she didn't learn a damn thing. A girl with blue hair explains that this is not the case. The girl explains that the finished product is scattered like hot cakes, and says that there is so much of it that if you follow the trail of demonic energy. The guy says that he should have gone straight there, and the girl explains that Mr. Van Beer said to go with Mr. Lavis. Lavis Vindica is surprised, asking what Vanby wants, and says that he drains every step of his life. The girl explains that she is just a bug who must listen to both of them. Lavis Vindica says he or Vanby is the real boss. The girl explains that she is. The dark creature says that if you choose it, it will make you stop being a pathetic bug. The girl with blue hair listens. The blue-haired girl laughs. The girl with blue hair is surprised. The girl says that she gives up her own flesh, blood, and the very darkness within her. The man is standing nearby. Lavis Vindica says that everything is fine, and accepts the girl as his personal servant. The girl is surprised that the spirit flies out of her ear. Lavis Vindica tells Wamba to go away. The man says that it's time to go to the place where the blue bow is made, and the other man replies that he understands. The image shows a gradual change in the time of day from sunset to night. A man and a girl walk between containers under the starry night sky. The girl says that they are in place and there is the highest concentration of energy of the blue bow, and Lavis Vindica explains that they will open one container. The girl says that only here is the lock. Lavis Vindica says scat and hits the lock on the door with his fist, destroying it. The girl is surprised. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica is surprised. The girl explains that the smell is strong. Lavis Vindica says he feels sick. He explains that this place is filled with an ominous energy that causes the girl to cry in fear. The girl says that's all. Lavis Vindica explains this. There is a surprise because of the words, blue bow. The girl says she can't believe he actually came here. Lavis Vindica explains that he couldn't not come. Because it's important. The girl tells him that it is dangerous here, and asks him to be careful. Lavis Vindica says he knows, and promises not to risk it for nothing. The girl is surprised that he can't understand why she did this. The man explains that he can't understand her motives. Loud laughter is heard. The pink-haired guy shouts that Lavis is his arrogant and completely obnoxious nephew, and explains that he is still such a weakling. Lavis deflects the blow defensively. Lavis Vindica shouts that he is a vile and vulgar man. The guy shouts that if he doesn't want to be a good boy, he should just die. Lavis Vindica screams and delivers a powerful punch to the opponent's face, causing a massive burst of blood and destruction all around. Lavis Vindica continues to shout, clenching his fist. A man with red eyes looks ahead, expressionless. The guy screams that he's falling off a cliff. Guy yells that fucking uncle. The guy shouts and laughs and then says that you will die like this. The character jumps down from the top of the cliff. The guy shouts and then says aye. A guy with pink hair shouts that Lavis is dead and calls him by name. Lavis Vindica is surprised. The man with the horns asks what happened. He says that these are predatory flowers, and explains that this is where they are all hidden. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says he can't believe this is true. Lavis Vindica then looks ahead with tension. Light and darkness were separated, and opposites arose that could not coexist. Without taking either side, creatures that grew up on their own appeared. The man says that the flower bloomed at the dawn of time where they gathered. The man with the spear says that this is not a man, but a monster, and he can't die. The man with the beard explains that the monster can't die because it's already dead. The man with the spear says that the monster can't die because it's already dead. The man with the spear. Words are heard about discarded celestials and devoured demons, as well as the desire of this flower to devour their flesh. The image shows a large purple flower with long curved stems and jagged leaves on a dark background. Above the flame appears an inscription about death for the whole world. Two characters stand with their backs to the fire and look at it. Lavis Vindica says that he is not afraid, and another man explains that strength is not everything and you need to be smart. He says that he was sure that they were all burned to the ground then, and the girl says that she also heard that the Lord rummaged through the entire demon world and destroyed them completely. The guy says he doesn't understand why there are so many boxes here. Lavis Vindica says that this flower originally appeared in the world of people, and the girl is surprised. The man explains that this is a middle world, where light and darkness are mixed in a muddy cocktail, and the world of people does not belong to either side. The woman tells the same story. Lavis Vindica says that if you believe human lore, it says that if they appeared in both worlds at the same time. The woman says he's telling someone. The man turns on a flashlight. Lavis Vindica says that he is not going to give up, and the girl is surprised. The guy with the flashlight says he's been wondering whose voices he's hearing, and the man asks if they know where they're going. A guy with glasses yells at Jae-hee that this is the bastard and freak from the tattoo parlor. The girl is surprised that it is Jean Jae-hee, and turns to Lavis Vindica. Lavis Vindica is silent. The girl shouts that she wants to know who this man is and why he trashed her salon, and also asks how he even found them. The man asks Jean Jae-hee if he manages this mess. Another man explains that this freak's tongue is slurred or he's just crazy, and adds that let's say so what. Lavis Vindica says that if he can't win, he will die. He asks what it's made of, and explains that he's trying to sniff out their secrets. Lavis Vindica says he doesn't care. He says that everything is as it is. The guy says that if they screw up again, He knows what Yanmu will do to them and tries to get their attention. The guy with the black hair explains that you keep a special ration. A girl with curly hair stretches out her hands with objects in her palms. A man with green hair is talking on the phone. A man in a black t-shirt and short hair stands next to me. A man with red hair stands POS. The guy is surprised and asks if it's really for free. Lavis Vindica says eat in silence. He says they can't see him because he's hiding in the shadows. A man with a short haircut explains that this is not possible and asks how he does it. He explains that he uses a special technique to stay invisible. A man with glasses and the girl says hide and keep a low profile. Lavis Vindica says that he obeys. The man makes growling noises and he laughs. The guy with the black hair orders to wave this freak right now, and the men with glowing eyes and evil smiles listen to him. There are sounds of explosions or impacts on the ground, accompanied by sharp sounds. Lavis Vindica says the idiots are drunk on their own arrogance and don't even know what they're getting into. Masked men run forward. He says to approach, explaining that there is plenty of demonic energy here. Lavis Vindica repels the attack of a man with a knife and knocks out his weapon, after which the man screams. He screams and kicks the man. He holds out his hand. It activates the red eye. Lavis Vindica dodges a punch from a man with a tattoo on his arm and strikes back. He kicks at the opponent who is holding the knife. Lavis Vindica screams. Lavis Vindica abruptly fights off the attacker, striking him. He says he's angry. The man shouts. Lavis Vindica falls to the ground, leaning on his arm, and two men run towards him. A man falls down at high speed. Lavis Vindica catches the man's leg and abruptly stops his kick. The girl shouts that Mr. Lavis. Lavis Vindica smiles. The three men shout and rush forward with aggressive expressions on their faces. Three men strike at Lavis Vindic, who deflects the attacks. Lavis Vindica is surprised by his strength and explains that it's because he ate more of that stuff than last time. He looks surprised, then he and the other man start running. The foot slams into the floor, causing a crack and flying shards. The hand squeezes the cloth with force. Lavis Vindica delivers a powerful blow with her hand, surrounded by purple energy, against the wall, causing destruction and shrapnel to be thrown out. He screams and releases energy from his hands, startling the three men. The man on the left says that this is impossible, and the man on the right explains that he has a power that should not be underestimated. The guy on the right yells that he's laughing, and the guy on the left yells and wheezes. Lavis Vindica screams and then says that he hates the foul stench, but he says that the demonic force reacts even more violently due to the accumulation of evil. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica stabs a man in the face with her hand, accompanying the attack with purple-colored energy. He screams as he delivers a powerful blow that rips through the opponent and causes an explosion of purple energy. Lavis Vindica delivers a powerful strike surrounded by purple energy and sparks. He falls to the ground, leaving behind a trail of blood and destruction. The guy screams and delivers a powerful kick to the man. Lavis Vindica kicks the man in the face, causing him to fall to the ground with blood coming out of his mouth. Lavis Vindica continues to attack, striking with pink energy blades. The guy grabs the other person's leg and abruptly lifts it up. Lavis Vindica kicks the leg of a man who screams in pain. A man screams that he must die. He punches a man in the face, who is screaming and in pain. He continues the attack, punching the man who is knocked back. Lavis Vindica abruptly grabs the man by the neck and throws him. Lavis Vindica screams. He abruptly throws the man to the ground with force. The guy wonders what kind of bastard he is and who he is, and also doesn't understand how he can be alone. Lavis Vindica says he can't afford to lose. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica screams that he can't let them die, and his eye begins to glow, surrounded by dark and purple energy. The banner shows the fifth S. C. Contest. A girl goes on stage in front of the audience. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says, "What the hell is this?" Lavis Vindica shows an eye surrounded by a bright purple flame. The woman says that he is her daughter, Kang Hyun-ju's daughter, and then confirms this to Yuria. The woman says that with such a talent, he will easily get into the Venus Ballet Company. The guy says it's her, and the man explains that it's their VIP client. The woman asks who they are and demands to know how they dare and know whose house this is. The man explains that a large order for a blue bow was received, and they decided to deliver it. The woman is surprised, uttering something with an exclamation. The guy is surprised that this is exactly what it is. The guy asks why they are so worried, and the woman explains that they control everything from production to sales, so there is nothing to worry about. The woman says that there will definitely be no problems, and begins to say it. The guy says that they are only asking now. The guy says that she has already pumped her daughter up to the eyeballs with this stuff and sent her up to the stage. The girl turns her head and looks away. A foot in a point ballet shoe spins on the floor. The woman speaks English and calls Yuri. The girl screams. The hand rises sharply up. The guy says that he is ready, and explains that apparently she was in too much of a hurry. The girl wonders how much was stuffed into it. The woman shouts that you is Yuri, and says that enough is enough. Yuria is dancing. The girl falls to the floor and screams. The man wonders what's going on, and the woman asks why she's suddenly acting like this. The man explains that he does not understand what is happening to the girl on stage. The woman shouts that no. The guy lowers his head. The woman shouts that he promised that there will be no side effects. The guy explains that he talked about those cases when the dosage is observed. The man says that in general your daughter is over for her and there is no hope. The woman explains that she will survive only if they feed her illusions with this. The woman screams. The guy says that now she will not be able to do it until the very end without a blue bow, and explains that as their VIP client. The girl shouts that she doesn't, and explains that at least he knows how much she has invested in it. The guy screams. The guy in the plaid shirt looks surprised. Lavis Vindica sits with his head bowed and his hands crossed in his lap. The phone screen shows an incoming call from Jean Jae-hee. The guy looks at the phone. The guy asks what the other person wants. The girl apologizes to Yeonmu. Lavis Vindica says he's the one who makes the blue bow. The guy is surprised that he can't believe his eyes. Lavis Vindica says that means it's him, and explains that we need to meet. The guy says listen, we have an urgent case here, so we have to go. Night. Open container with trees and starry sky background. The guy asks why people take drugs at all, and the girl explains that it's because they are stupid and arrogant. The voice explains that they presumptuously believe that even if they try, they are the ones who won't get hooked. Lavis Vindica says that they have nothing to believe in, and they cling to such a small thing. The girl is surprised and says that Mr. Lavis is over there. He doesn't say anything. A girl shouts that it's her little brother Yeonmu. A guy with purple hair asks if the tattoo parlor is the work of Lavis Vindica. The guy asks if the other person was looking for him. Lavis Vindica says he is not interested in the man, and the man asks where he got it. He says that a pathetic little man can't get such a thing. The guy is surprised, asking what and clarifying about the little man. The guy is surprised that this bastard. A guy with purple hair says that he has already passed out and asks for more fooling around, and the lying man shouts what's going on. The guy shouts that dad. The man says what the hell. The guy is surprised that someone died. The man says that as all life sat on a drug and died. The guy says that since he's dead. The guy shouts that he now doesn't know where to get drugs, and kicks another person in the head. The man shouts that he doesn't understand how to get it now. The man screams that he can't die because he's immortal. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says that this is impossible. The guy is surprised that it's dad, and asks if he's not dead. The voice asks if he is saddened by his death. A man with burning eyes looks ahead. The guy wonders what it's for, and says that the dark entity says that if a man's grief is because of this, she will bring him back. The guy shouts that he is finally dead and there is no reason for him to be sad. The guy shouts that he doesn't need a garbage dad, he only needs dope. A voice from the darkness explains that this is true. The voice says that then you need to feed your father's corpse to a predatory flower. The guy explains that the flower he is holding is a flower that can grant wishes. The man says that the flower is dangerous and that he should not use it. The guy says that he wants to use the flower to change his fate. The The man warns that the flower takes something in return. The guy says they'll make a contract and he'll get what he craves. The guy is surprised by the name predatory flower. The voice says that if someone betrays your loyalty and rejects the predatory flower, a guy holds a flower and shouts. He tells them that their contract will keep him safe. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica shouts that he won't let this happen, and holds up a hand with a flower, from which poisonous tentacles shoot out. The man has his back to Lavis. The guy says he's just a pathetic little man. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says that the interlocutor seems to have some kind of trump card. The guy says that the gentleman gave him a new life, and confirms this with one word. Lavis Vindica says he knew the other one had made a contract with a demon. He says that he doesn't know what kind of nonsense the other person believes, and regrets what happened to him and the other person. The guy says he can't believe how dare they insult him. The man orders the brat to be brought here quickly, and the two men run forward. The girl screams that the same thing is happening again, and runs away. The men run after her. Lavis Vindica says that he is getting bored and suggests to end it quickly. The ambulance siren sounds. The car rushes along the road. The woman says that after the launch, everyone behaves like crazy. The man is lying with a mask on his face and connected to the device. The girl says that the blue bow is already so popular. The girl says that she will easily recruit VIP clients all over the country. A man holds a jar of blue pills. The guy says that they will soon become a global corporation. The man in the white shirt says that Brother Yanmu has already paved the way to China and Japan, and the man with glasses explains that Brother Yanmu is really cool and can be awesome. The man tells me about his app, but the guy doesn't say anything. The guy says that drugs are spreading at a wild rate. The guy asks someone to stop it. The man shouts. A guy with purple hair says that this bastard is not human, and a girl in tears screams. Lavis Vindica stands among the fallen men. He says that he is interested in when the interlocutor will appear. The man is silent. The voice explains that if someone betrays loyalty, the predatory flower will reject them. The guy shouts kill. A hand with a tattoo on its wrist clutches 3 blue balloons. Lavis Vindica says he will, and calls Mr. Baver Hilt. The voice says that if someone betrays your loyalty or denies the devouring flower, the guy says kill him. There are 3 blue balls on your hand. The man says that he will do so, then explains that he is Mr. Baver Hilt and asks if he is properly called Baver Hilt. The guy is surprised that Lavis Vindica is not an ordinary high school student and explains that maybe he is one of those who makes a new drug. He says it's a new drug and is surprised that people ask him. Lavis Vindica screams. Lavis Vindica is surprised. He deflects the blow with his hand, blocking the man's attack. Lavis Vindica says that the opponent is fast and is on a completely different level than the previous bastards. The guy wonders how he can block his attacks and asks if he got a blessing from him too. The guy is surprised that he is his god, and explains that he should only be his god. Lavis Vindica says that the devouring flower and the foul stench are the god that the other person believes in. He says he's not going to stop. The guy shouts that he doesn't believe it, and wonders how the other person knows. Lavis Vindica says that no one believes in turning into such a lowly bastard of all people. The guy shouts not to insult the one who is cowering over him. He says he must have shrunk, and explains how pathetic he looked himself, coming in after the rat was hiding everywhere. The guy shouts shut up and explains that he is not the one whose name they dare to say with his mouth. The guy screams, attacking the man who deflects the blow with his hands. Lavis Vindica says that Baver Hilt has risen very high. He screams that he can't die, and his power won't run out. He explains that his body and soul belong to him, and no one can take his life. He says that he will continue to fight despite the pain and blood, and that his will is stronger. Lavis Vindica says then. The man says that the one who cowardly ran away alone. He smiles with blood on his face. Lavis Vindica says that this is where he gets his honors, and asks where that bastard Baver is hiding now. The guy shouts that he will insult him to the last. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica shouts that he is in pain and says that he feels a stench. A guy with glowing eyes shouts that anyone who insults Mr. Baver will die at his hands. Lavis Vindica grabs the man by the neck and stabs him, and the man lets out a scream. The man shouts that he won't let the other live, and grabs him by the neck. The man picks up the other one and throws it with force. Lavis Vindica shouts that he won't give up. He says he can't die. A man with glowing eyes raises his fist to strike, while another man lies face down on the ground. The guy shouts that blue bows and Mr. Baver. The guy shouts that everything belongs to him. Lavis Vindica says that this bastard has already lost his mind due to demonic energy and is really going to kill him. The guy screams. He says hoarsely that he is coughing. The girl shudders and says that Mr. Ravis should not do this. The man has reached the limit of his body. Lavis Vindica stabs a man who is lying on the ground. A girl with blue hair and horns says that if this was a demon world, and if he could use his powers. The guy screams as he attacks the other. The man explains that the test subject of the lowering colors has completely merged with them, although Lavis is in a human body, but the demon bloodstone is embedded in him, and he thought that Lavis would be able to suppress some experiment. The character says that this time he can actually die, and then Lavis' soul will be destroyed forever. The guy asks Band if he knows what Lavis hates the most. Band is surprised and says that Lavis hates almost everything, so it's hard to choose one thing. The guy with the purple hair says that Ravis has a pretty bad temper and wonders who he's born to be. Lavis Vindica explains that he sees what he's getting at. He explains that he can't afford to relax. Lavis Vindica says dirt, and the man is surprised. The guy says that he has misophonia, and explains that Lavis can't stand dirt. The man squeezes the other person's hand tightly. Lavis Vindica says it's dirty. The guy shouts that he doesn't believe it. Lavis Vindica says that he hates this dirty smell coming from the other person. A man grabs another man's hand. The guy screams and throws his arm out sharply. The guy shouts out what's going on. The man takes a sharp step back. The voice says it's only the left hand. Lavis Vindica says he feels as if she still belongs to him. He doesn't say anything. The man shouts. Lavis Vindica says he couldn't touch the dirty body of the other person anymore. He says that's why let's finish it. Lavis Vindica screams and stabs the man. The man shouts. The guy shouts that he doesn't understand how a person has such power. The girl shouts that she is calling for Mr. Lavis. Lavis Vindica shouts that the man, you say. The guy screams, and he punches him hard in the face. The guy falls to the ground after being hit. The girl screams. Lavis Vindica is silent with blood on his face. The guy shouts that he is a bitch and asks who this person is. Lavis Vindica says he's already talking with his stinking mouth. Lavis Vindica stabs a man in the face. He delivers a powerful punch to the stomach of a man with purple glowing eyes, which causes him to bend over and bleed to death. Lavis Vindica is surprised and says wow. The guy with the horns on his head says that it's Ravis, and explains that he should have had a headache from the stench when the test subject woke up. The man in the raincoat is silent. Lavis Vindica explains that the smell must have made it difficult for him to get close, because he hates dirt more than anything else in the world. Overstimulation of his misophonia leads to awakening and allows him to use only a fraction of his true power. Lavis Vindica wonders if he can use his former power even in a human body. The woman says that even if he has the demon bloodstone, it should be impossible to use the power from the demon world in a sinner's body. The guy says Ravis is not an ordinary guy after all. Says the unknown, no matter what anyone says. Ravis. Lavis Vindica says he looks like him. The guy screams and slams his back against the wall. Lavis Vindica says that he is a fool and should consider himself lucky. He says that he can't kill the other person while in this body. The guy shouts that it can't be, how could he, and says that Mr. Baver himself gave him a blessing. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica says he's not going to give up. He says he just needs to eat some more. He explains not to think about anything stupid. Lavis Vindica says that he will beat you so that the other person does not die. He raises his hands to strike, and a man with blood on his face stands behind him. He abruptly puts his foot on the ground. The guy screams, squeezing his hand, from which comes a bright energy. The guy screams that he can't die. The black-haired guy delivers a powerful punch to the pink-haired guy's face, causing a large splash of water and blood. A hand squeezes the wrist of the other hand. The finger touches the hand with blood on the fingers. The guy screams. The man screams, blood pouring from his nose and mouth. The guy screams. Lavis Vindica explains that he can't afford to die because he has a goal to fulfill. The guy shouts that no. Lavis Vindica says it's not like that. The guy says he can't believe this happened and explains that he doesn't know what to do next. Lavis Vindica says that's not what he wanted at all. The man stands with his hands behind his back. He sits at his desk and looks ahead. Other students are sitting at their desks. Some are reading or leaning on their hands. The text tells about the school where everything is predetermined and about the relationships that arise in the confined space of the classroom. A guy in a pink hoodie looks on. A group of guys in school uniforms are talking among themselves. Lavis Vindica and another guy tease a classmate by pinching his cheek and pulling his hair. The text explains that for the sake of survival, not to become a target. He says that pretending to like someone, pretending to hate them without having to pretend to be friends. The guy with the black hair says that he just wanted to help find people who genuinely need each other. A guy with glasses and curly hair listens. The man behind them looks worried. The guy says he didn't create it to sell drugs. The guy quickly types on the keyboard. The program code is displayed on the monitor screen. The guy shouts that he is also buggy. A man with tied hair, a man in a white shirt and a man in black explain that they also have problems. The guy shouts quickly and rushes to the door, grabbing a chair. The guy shouts that he can't afford to die here and says he's not going to give up. A man with glasses explains that if he doesn't give up, he will die. A man in a black hoodie orders me to go in and check out what the man he calls a bastard is doing. A man in a white shirt and a man in a black suit knock on the door. A man in a black suit asks to open the door and says open it. The man says that you need to permanently delete the app. Lavis Vindica shouts that it is not necessary to be stupid. The guy shouts that you need to go faster and asks for it. A guy with glasses suddenly throws his hand forward, breaking the glass. A man in a white shirt and another guy in dark clothes look at what is happening in surprise. The man screams that he's a son of a bitch and falls through the broken glass. The guy in the chair exclaims, ah. The man shouts what he's doing, and the guy makes a sound when he gets hit. The guy with the blonde hair says that the bastard definitely put down the server, and the guy with the dark hair calls him a little asshole. A man in a white shirt punches another man in the face. The guy shouts to stop the process and explains that if Yanmu comes, he will kill everyone. The guy says that you need to hold out until the app is deleted, and by all means. The guy screams and the man kicks, which injures the guy. The guy runs, carrying the chair, and breaks the glass. The man and Lavis Vindica turn in his direction. The man at the computer turns around. The guy screams and pulls the lever of the fire extinguisher sharply, then turns back with tension and tears in his eyes. The guy shouts that he loves him and calls the interlocutors dirty bastards. A guy screams and uses a fire extinguisher. A man with a ponytail and glasses retreats, and another man with a tattoo on his neck covers his face with his hand and reacts tensely. The man shouts out what's going on and says he's really gone mad. The guy screams that he's cursed and coughs, then coughs again. The screen shows the deletion process. The guy shouts that he's ready. The man shouts that he is a scoundrel and strikes, and the guy shouts. The guy shouts that you need to drag what to tie this bastard up with. The guy shouts that there is, and the other shouts that it is a curse. The guy shouts that he's on and says no. The guy says that in the end, everything he can do is his limit. The man shouts that he's a little bastard. The man with the red eye says he can't believe how dare they touch his servant. The guy screams. The guy is surprised. The hand jerks forward, and the guy with the ponytail and glasses turns around tensely. The guy screams, and the man coughs and tries to cover his mouth with his hand. The man in white says it's Sungjin. The man with the neck tattoo is surprised that it's Sungjin. Lavis Vindica grabs the head of a man with blood from his nose and screams, while another man with a wound on his face and an open mouth makes a sound. The guy shouts what the fuck, and the man shouts that he's calling Sungjin. Lavis Vindica rushes forward, radiating energy from his eye, while the two men behind him fight and are injured. He delivers a powerful kick to the man, who receives injuries and blood from his mouth. Two men fall backward with force, while one of them says that no one dares to touch his only servant. Lavis Vindica says he would rather die than give up what is his. The guy is surprised and says it's Miho. The guy explains to Miho that it's an app he's currently developing, and Miho asks what kind of app it is. The man says that like-minded